sense of pride in their sex. Now, that's out of the booklet for children of the age of 1 to 3. They go on to say the child touches all parts of their father's body, sometimes arousing him, and the father should do the same. Say what? Excuse you? And you calling my people sick and savages? You got everybody fucked up. Excuse my language, but I can only take so much before I start to lose it here. I don't give a damn that these are European children. They are children. And like I said before, a lot of this bullshit behavior that they perpetrate on everybody, they start with their own. They start with their own, and then they go around the world and they infect the rest of the world with this nonsense. Now, in case you didn't know, let me say it to you again. The European Union is under the European Alliance. The European Alliance are the heads of the church, the heads of the banks, and the crown heads of Europe. That's the European Alliance. The European Union takes orders from the European Alliance, which is also the BIS, the Bank of International Settlements. These people take their orders, and they know what to do. And these are people that are all infested out and inbred, and they are crazy as hell. I don't care. Now, what people need to comprehend is these people that are the so-called European Union tell other Europeans what to do. And those Europeans, because they think it's all about we're white and we stick together because we're white, they don't know they're coming after them. They don't remember their history. They don't remember their culture. They're too busy watching us and keeping their foot on our necks. They forgot why a lot of their ancestors have not remained in Europe. Some of them were booted out for crimes and criminal behavior. Some of them ran away because they knew these people were crazy and they had to get the hell out of Dodge. Some of them were banished because they had the nerve to speak up against certain practices that now are being shoved down the throat of the rest of the world. Now, this book goes on to say, now there's a cat named Michael O'Brien. He's from Canada. He's a writer and a public speaker. And he calls this a crisis of culture in the West. Now, he's got the right idea, but I guess he doesn't know what I'm sharing with you guys. He says this behavior, this is state-encouraged incest. It's not state-encouraged incest. I told you guys the Roman state is an incested state. Okay? Now, it says this is state-encouraged incest, which in most civilized societies is a crime. Well, it was a crime all around the world except for there. It goes on to say the development is, he suggests, a natural outcome of the rejection of the Judeo-Christian moral order. Now, he's got the right idea, but what he doesn't understand is this decay in society is not based on a rejection of Judeo-Christian's moral order. It is the Judeo-Christian moral order. Somebody better go get their hands on some of these religious books of these people and find out what is considered normal in their society and their culture. Now, we have some of our people starting to practice this dumb nonsense, but it was not our culture until we became infected. And again, they come in, they take your children, they infect your children, and then they release them back into society as split personalities and Manchurian candidates and people that have become victimized and now they're predators because they fell to the hands of a predator. If they don't fall into that category of being a predator themselves or a serial molester or a serial killer, at best, a lot of them are going to wind up as some type of substance abuser. They're going to wind up being cutters where they cut themselves. They're going to wind up being drinkers that drink to bury their pain. They're going to wind up being users of illegal drugs or heavy users of prescribed doctor-ordered drugs. Either way, they're trying to bury the bullshit that was done to them. Now, the science that I'm giving you guys on this do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, si, for those of you that have been victimized by these fools or victimized by victims of these fools, who a lot of them don't know. Some of the people that come into our communities becoming agents and turncoats and killers of the community, a lot of them are out of the foster care system, out of the group home system, out of the adoptive system. You don't know, out of the church. You have no idea what they've gone through. A lot of them don't even remember what they've gone through and where this stuff comes from. But we've been dealing with this nonsense since the people jumped off the Mayflower, I'm sorry to say. Now, a lot of them have done better, because they know better. When you know better, you do better. But so many of them have forgotten that they have caused the whole rest of the planet to suffer. But let me go on with some more of this information. The pamphlet advises parents to permit young children unlimited masturbation except where physical injury becomes apparent. Oh, well, and that's bad enough, but it says here for the parents of children ages 4 to 6, it recommends that parents teach their children movements of copulation. Like I said before, that's one of the reasons why their women are so great at sex. They start them out so goddamn young. And I'm not beating them up. They're victims, of this craziness. But, my thing is, you don't have to allow it to continue. Now Michael O'Brien goes on to say, the German state is encouraging destruction of this state of innocence. Now, there's more going on with that, and I highly recommend that people find that article before it's pulled. Do your edit, select all, copy, and then paste it into a Word document. Get it on a hard drive, get it on a flash drive. But when you find this kind of ammunition, you need to pull it down off the Internet because we're in trouble here. These are the people in charge, and they're going to keep beating up Germany about it and saying what they want to say, but it's not just Germany. It is these not sane people that are in charge. Now, talking about these not sane people that are in charge, way back in the day, my homegirl Lady Ma'at and another scholar that I forgot to mention off the top of my head, a brother named Dr. B in Southern California in the Los Angeles area, who was also a scholar. He's I want to call him a naturopath and a musician. But, we have people out here that are trying to save our people who are trying to save the world. It's kind of, and you can't save a world that don't want to, like Marvin Gaye said, who's willing to try to save a world that's destined to die with a bunch of people that don't want to be saved, being led by a bunch of people that are trying to destroy and kill us all. But see, it was okay with Europeans when it was like, well, they're just killing the niggers. Nobody cares a damn. They're only killing niggers. It was cool when it was about just killing us. When they woke up, some of them, and said, wait a minute, hold up, they're coming after us too. Now it's a problem. Well, we've been telling you all along it's a problem. See, nobody cared when we were complaining. But, like, for example, the Europeans squawk and scream about the Patriot Act. What the hell is going on in the Patriot Act that our people don't suffer through every freaking day? Huh? You got Europeans that are losing their minds going through the airport getting pat down and searches. The average brother walking to the bus stop has to go through a series of pat downs and searches. You can't even sit at the bus stop without these people wanting to go in your pockets and search for no apparent reason. Unwarranted searches. No exigency or exigency. There's no emergency or anything that warrants your interest in me. You just want this whole show and tell. You want everybody to see, oh, they're pulling over another black man. They're pulling over these, they're criminals. They're criminals. It's a show. So everybody can go tell everybody what they saw. We saw him pulling over another black man. But see now, if you look around, they're doing it to European people. When we were squawking about tasering, nobody cared. Now they're tasering everybody. Old, young, male, female, so-called black and so-called white. And I'm going to say it again. These people that have the authority to do something and say something because they're white, and, white is might, and you got all the rights, speak up. An injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere, or will be an injustice everywhere, because this stuff will take on a life of its own, and it'll come down a slippery slope and hit your doorstep. Now, like I said before, at least I think I've said before, unless I'm getting the show mixed up with phone calls, because, again, I can't hear my shows. In Indiana, I think I've said, and in case I didn't, I'll say it real quickly again. In Indiana, they have passed some kind of state legislation making it legal for law enforcement to come into anybody's house they want, anybody's home they want, without a reason, without a warrant, without a cause, and if they knock, they don't have to wait for you to open the door either. Well, I submit to you, we are seeing a return back to the feudalism craziness and nonsense of the so-called elitists of Europe. I can come in and have sex with anybody I want because I'm the king. I can walk off with your children if I want to because I'm the bishop. I can take your child or come in your house and eat the last of your food because I'm a soldier of the crowned heads. I have the right to come where I want to come and take what I want to take. I'm hungry. You got any food? We don't have much. It's the last of our food, but we'll take that. And by the way, give us your little boy and little girl, you know. So people need to do more research into where those people came from, how they ran here, how we helped them, how they turned on us, and now everybody swears that we're the beast and we need to go back to Africa, which they didn't even find us in Africa. However, for those of you that are so sure you're from Africa, you probably are. I'm not going to tell you that you're not African. If you say you are, then you are because you are whoever you say you are. But my homegirl, my aunt, and me, and Dr. B, we've always wondered what the hell is up with the damn Jack. You know, and I must be tipping my Libra scales because I think I'm on that curse more than usual again tonight. I get that from time to time, and I try not to do it on the show, whereas people that talk to me on the phone, they already know how I roll. A lot of listeners on the show are stunned when they hear some of the things that come forth from my mouth. You know, she sure curses a lot. Well, you speak English, so you curse just as much, and you don't even know what you're saying. Now, we were wondering what is up with this term Jack. Jack and Jill, Jack and the Beanstalk, Jack be nimble. You know, everything is about a damn Jack. Jack in the box. Can somebody tell me what's up with the Jack? And we've been wondering for the longest. So finally, you know, we looked it up and, you know, we saw and didn't see. And I guess sometimes you look and you're ready to see what you see, and other times you're not quite ready to see what you saw or thought you saw, and therefore you need to go back and look at the stuff again because now you're looking with a whole new set of eyes. Now, I need to try to find my notes because Jack is the same as the word John. Jack, John, same word. That's one reason they call John F. Kennedy Jack. Check out what Jack means. J-A-C-K. Like, you know, play Jack and balls with balls and jacks. Jack means penis. Penis, like what men have swinging between their legs. It also means Bauer, B-A-U-E-R, like Eddie Bauer and the Bauer cars. And like, remember, the Rothschild family, their name was Bauer. It is Bauer. They changed it to Red Shield, but they originally were Bauers. Now, Bauer means peasant. Now, you got to go back into the whole story and understand how the peasants wound up overthrowing the nobles and just took over the damn world, and they making everybody crazy because they're coming from a low chakra, low frequency place, and now they got us all screwed up. And everybody's tripping on blue and red and black and white and rich and poor and straight and nappy and light and dark and gay and straight, welfare and not, working and not, rich and poor. I'm done. I'm really done. At any rate, Jack means John, but John is the same as Joe. Now, all of this is Jack. John, which Bauer, Rothschild, is Johann, Jan, J-A-N, and it's an unknown. It's a generic name addressed to a unknown stranger, and it's used especially in regard to strangers. Sailors. It's used especially with reference to sailors of the high seas. Now, Jacquerie, which I'm probably pronouncing wrong, probably Jacquerie, but it's spelled J-A-Q-U-E-R-I-E, means villain. Villain? A villain is a serf and a servant. That's what Jack or the Bowers or the Rothschilds were. The servants, or what do you call the children are running the house? The servants are running the castle, and now everybody's crazy because they're crazy. They weren't noble enough to be running the world, and that's why we're all suffering. It goes on to say, it's villain comes from the word Jacque, J-A-C-Q-U-E, which means Jack, and Jacare, that I just spelled out, J-A-Q-U-E-R-I-E, means the rising of the northern French peasants against the nobles. And the year for that they have is 1357 to 1358. Well, hell, that's before 1492. And it's any common fellow. It also means Oannes, which is spelled O-A-N-N-E-S, which means fish. That's why the Pope walks around wearing a damn fish head on his head sometimes.